Hey everybody, back for just a little video here. Something that's been bothering me since I started work here. To think about it, I want to get people's opinions on this, and obviously I don't have access to the community tab, because you need like 1,000 subscribers in order to do that, and obviously 14 is not going to get me anywhere near there. So I guess if this video out there or gets across out there, I'd like to know because what people think. They can throw your comments down below for this one, but how far can you go to trust law enforcement? I mean, to be honest, I lost my complete trust in law enforcement because of all the problems that I've had and seeing it. Like, you call law enforcement or whatever, the Kandiyohi County Sheriff, for example, you call them and you're on 911. And you think when you dial 911, it should be an emergency reason. So therefore, obviously, there's an exigent circumstance to get somebody there as quick as possible and to handle the situation in a timely manner and stuff like that. Whereas in non-emergency, maybe it's more relaxed, no expectation of time, But for example, when my soon-to-be ex-wife and I were living together before, and we had problems with the tenants in our building, and it got to the point that there was a drug dealer that was always living there. I mean, there's still drug dealers there and druggies that live in the building. Unfortunately, it's not one of those things you can get rid of unless you got a landlord that'll actually do what he's supposed to do and manage the building in an appropriate manner. Stop renting to these thugs and criminals, and start learning how to read people, stuff like that, or find the loopholes for your benefit, to protect your good tenants. Because I've been there since 2000, say 8, so you're talking at least 11 years. But I've called the sheriff before. I dialed 911 because when my soon-to-be ex-wife and I lived together, there was an apartment where there was a drug dealer there, and the soon-to-be ex-wife had taken the dog out, and when she was out there, there was a guy that was working on a vehicle, and it looked like he had like electrocuted himself, for what she said. I wasn't there, I didn't witness this. I'm telling you what she told me. So she just asked if he was all right, and the guy turned around and looked and said, "Nice dog," and started chasing both of them into the building, up the stairs, with who knows what intent. Um, and obviously, you call the sheriff, and you're on the phone 911, and you sit here and you explain to the sheriff what's going on and stuff like that. And this guy tweaks out in the hallway, is swearing and sitting there saying, "Help me," and all this stuff, because he's tweaking on something. He's like literally as high as a kite. And then you hear a bunch of glass breaking, which you think at the time was probably like all the light covers or whatever that covered the lights in the hallway. But actually, all it was, from what I understood, or what I could tell, was that he had broke out the glass on a fire extinguisher box. He had shattered that thing, and whether or not he kicked it with his foot, punched it with his hand, I don't know. But then he went into that guy's unit, and then and I heard him in there, and that's when I opened the door so I could keep it, listen a little bit better and keep an eye on it and stuff like that. I wouldn't open my apartment door knowing that there's a guy out there that's all crazy as hell. But lo and behold, when the sheriff showed up, they got him to relax, calm, whatever. The ambulance showed up, and from what I understood, they detained him, they treated him, and then they released him. From what I understood, they didn't even charge him with a crime for criminal damage to property. The landlord, on the other hand, didn't do nothing. He didn't believe a dang word I said. Apparently, I'm just a liar, that I can't, oh, he's got to be proven to be in that unit or whatever, hanging out with people or whatever and involved with them. And I'm like, dude, I know he went in there. I heard the exact door, and when I opened my door, because I know he went in there, I could hear him on the other side of that wall. But the landlord didn't seem to care, and it doesn't obviously seem to nitpick, about all the people that park in random parking spots and stuff like that, or the overflow parking for tenants when they're not even tenants there, and the people having people stay with them that are not on leases and stuff, and you're affecting your other freaking, the good tenants in the building who comply with every rule there is and don't sit here and cause a problem. You're creating a problem for them. And like I said, the landlord doesn't do anything and the sheriff didn't do anything. Or what about the fact of when I was chased, by this guy throughout the parking lot? He was driving around, and I called 911 because this guy is trying to road rage with me. Now I carry and conceal for my safety, because obviously I can't rely on law enforcement to help out or do anything. Because when I called 911 and I sat there and I reported that, the guy was still in the presence of chasing me, and lo and behold, after I gave all the information to the dispatcher says, Well, I dispatched it out to the officers. If they have any questions or need anything from you, they'll be in touch. Really? Okay, so you're not going to stay on the phone. You apparently dispatched it out with no concern, and I'm dialing 911 that there's a guy irate threatening me, chasing me around the freaking parking lot in his vehicle, which I don't know if the guy had a gun or any kind of weapon on him. I don't know if he would have rammed my car or if he would have watched where I walked into, harassed me at work. There was no way to know what the hell was going to happen. But did one cop show up? Nope. Again, you dial 911 and not one cop shows up. And that was the Willmar Police Department, Willmar, Minnesota. Then what was it? Last night, or actually this morning, April 26th, it was a little by after 4 o'clock, and I was on my way back to the office to punch out for the morning, and there's a PTI, professional transportation, basically vehicle. It's a vehicle that helps the rail yards transport employees from the rail yard to the hotels and hotels to the rail yards to get them where they need to go for the job. Well, as I was driving back, pretty much, about 24 blocks, at least 6 times that vehicle crossed the center line, went in the complete opposite lane. There's no signal. He weaved over to that lane, and then he weaved back to the lane, the left lane. Then he went back again. He did that 6 times, even while I'm on the phone. And at this point, I dialed the non-emergency number. But my concern is this guy drunk? Or impaired by or under the influence of something, or impaired? Is he a distracted driver? Is he just too tired? I mean, there's no way to know what's going on in that driver's head. But nope, sorry, we have no officers that are available in the area, but we called it out. If we need anything else from you, we'll be in touch again. So what is the point, that you can call the police department or the sheriff's department and get some kind of response out of them for an emergency situation or a high concern situation? It's almost like they will dispatch an officer out if it's not a high concern, and then it never seems to result in anything. It's almost like they know it's not going to result in anything. It's something that could result in something. They don't send somebody, or they don't deal with it in appropriate manners and stuff. So my question to everybody out there is, how do you know you can trust law enforcement? I've watched all these videos online, and now I've experienced a lot of crap myself, and I don't have a lot of faith in them. I'm not saying they're bad people. I mean, they're nice guys that you can chat with here and there, at least for the Willmar PD. The officers are relatively nice when you talk to them. But out of all the problems that I've ever called, has anything ever been done about anything? Nope. It doesn't matter if it was work-related or non-work-related. They've never taken care of anything. It's almost like, what is the point of law enforcement if we can't enforce laws, or if we can't enforce rules, or look out for the safeties of others? So we got to wait until somebody kills somebody before the cops do something. That's my concern. Like the guy, that was irate. Okay, he didn't do anything but damage a box, but he potentially threatened my soon-to-be ex-wife at the time. Nothing was done. No criminal charges filed. The guy that was irate, trying to chase me all over the lot, threatening me. And did they show up and do anything? No. But it seems like everybody else that calls about something else, it seems like the cops are, pretty urgent to get there in a heartbeat, so it makes no sense to me, I guess. But if it seems like every call that I've dealt with, I've never been able to get any results from it. So my question in regards to this video to all of you, anybody that wants to answer it, down below, have you yourself had any personal experiences with law enforcement that you felt results should have occurred, or somebody should have been arrested, or somebody should have been charged, or something? Or have you had a similar experience where you've contacted law enforcement, but nobody showed up, or nothing got dispatched? If so, I want to find out how many other people are affected in the same way. So if you want to do me a favor, post some comments down below. It'd be much appreciated. I don't know if I'll get any comments unless somebody's talking trash about me. That's about the only time I seem to get a comment down there. I did get a couple good comments on my first couple videos, but I haven't heard anything from anybody since then. So I don't know if anybody even watches my videos or not, honestly. I mean, I see the views, so I'm assuming so. But whether or not they watch the whole thing, I haven't gone and interpreted with the data and analysis, whatever behind the videos, the analytics, shall I say. I have not had a chance to analyze to see what the average time is, or whether or not they watch the full video. But again, Feel free to leave a comment below. Tell me if you've had a similar experience or what you think about law enforcement or the way it's being handled in the world of today. I'd love to see people's feedbacks on this and see if they had similar experiences, because honestly, I don't trust law enforcement. Just like I said, I don't trust lawyers, and I don't trust the court system or anybody in a political standpoint. I can't trust anybody, when it comes to that, because it's just, I can't trust even non-law enforcement. I don't trust anybody. My philosophy today is DTA, don't trust anyone. So, but especially anybody in a position of power, I do not trust wholeheartedly. So, again, feel free to leave that information, subscribe, like, comment, share the videos, and turn on those notifications. And I look forward to reading any comments that are left. So, otherwise, have a great night, and thanks for your time again.